Hello and welcome to Those Forking Fangirls, where we talk all things book, TV, movie, pop culture, fandoms, and how they integrate into our adult lives. I'm Christine.
And I'm Natasha.
And today we've got an interesting topic. We're talking the things that have revolutionized our everyday routines, that have changed our lives for the better in our late 20s, early 30s, that we've just added in, whether that be something we're doing every day, something we're taking every day, somewhere we're going, makeup, skin shit, the works. Okay. It's been a journey trying to figure out skin and life.
Well, also
The
your skin
aging
changes.
process. Yes, it does.
And so once you get it figured out in your 20s, it all changes when you hit 30.
It all changes at 27, 28. I remember looking in the mirror at 28 and I'm like, there's wrinkles under my eyes. And I literally was like, is this what my book did to me? The stress of book did this. Lots of stuff changes, and we're going to chat about the things that have really worked for us and that might help you so you don't have to go through the same trial and error that we did for 1,000 years when we were going through that era.
I do have to say, I don't have wrinkles, so Christina could not relate.
It wasn't wrinkles. My skin was dry.
Oh, yeah.
Things start to happen. You're like, what is it?
Mm-hmm. That's true. You need
Jenna,
moisture.
So, I wasn't drinking enough water. I wasn't doing anything for my under eyes. And I called up my dermatologist friend. She was like, just put Vaseline under your fucking eyes. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, your eyes are just dry. And then I did. And then it solved the problem.
I went down the Vaseline route with you, and I was like, yeah.
Wrinkles, so I can't relate. Bitch. Okay. Let's go into Snap Crackle pop culture news.
So Anne Hathaway finally confirmed the Princess Diaries 3. This was a big rumor for a while. I know a lot of people were like, oh, we really want the movie, but now it's officially confirmed. They have a director, Adele Lim, and Julie Andrews is set to come back. Chris Pine is not officially back yet. That was my main question too.
How can they do it without Chris Pine?
Right? They're married.
They can't be divorced.
No, that won't be fun. And we need Chris Pine. So I really hope
wonder if they
that
just haven't announced him, but he's negotiating payment.
Yeah, or he's like, I don't know, it's not my thing anymore. I'm doing cool dude bro movies.
He did kind of give that indie record that's much cooler than mine vibes on Armchair Expert. Hopefully they'll have him. I can't see them announcing it without knowing they have him in the bag.
Yeah, Nicole says though if he's not, they probably just say that he's out of the country doing king stuff.
No, she needs a love interest. A lot of this has to do with her relationships all the time.
Yeah, and that's why number 2 is my favorite because of Chris.
I hate him, but it's okay. I want him there.
Oh my God! What if they kill him off? He just dies tragically, like her father,
and then she has to find a new person in her life because she's really lonesome, running the country alone. Okay, I actually like that.
Could be a possibility, but I would like Chris Pine.
Michael can come back, Cheyenne.
No. Never thought he was cute.
I didn't think he was that cute, but I did like their relationship. Well, she's supposed to be with the guy from the first one, so maybe he will be back, Deborah says. Oh, interesting.
Please recast him.
Well, it's been a long time. Maybe he looks different.
I don't know. He's a Coppola.
I think actually we had this discussion once, and I was like, what do you mean?
Yes, I think I told you, how deep the Coppolas are.
Who's Adele Lim?
You know what? I should have looked up what she's done in the past, and I knew you were going to ask me this. Okay. Oh, she's done Joyride, Crazy Rich Asians, Raya, The Last Dragon.
Wait, she didn't direct Crazy Rich Asians.
She must have. Oh, she wrote that one.
Oh, she's a writer.
She's a screenwriter and director.
Okay. What did she direct?
She directed Joyride. which I watched. And it's very funny.
Wait, who's in that?
Oh, what's her face from Emily in Paris? Ashley Park.
Oh.
And then Stephanie Sue from...
What was it about?
Follows 4 Asian American friends as they bond and discover the truth of what it means to know and love who you are while they travel through China in search of one of their birth mothers. It's like a
cool.
comedy.
I've never even heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. I watched it on an airplane
Nice.
last year.
All right. Well, today in Taylor Swift news, I mean, this is Taylor Swift adjacent. So Bravo is apparently doing a Chiefs WAGs reality show. And if you don't know what WAGs are, it's wives of athletes or something.
The acronym doesn't make sense.
Wives and girlfriends of athletes.
And girlfriends.
You know what?
Wives.
There was just a joke about this on
Nobody wants
this. And I've already forgotten what the acronym stands for. Anyway, it's the wives and girlfriends of the athletes on the Chiefs. And a source confirms to People that Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes will not be a part of the Chiefs WAGs reality show for Bravo. Taylor and Brittany are not part of the show at all and will not even be filmed. Taylor especially is very protective of what little private life she has left. That's the quote. I was never expecting Taylor to be a part of a WAGs reality show.
Yeah.
On Bravo. That doesn't seem her jam. It does seem like Brittany Mahomes' jam. I wonder if she's just being like, well, Taylor's not doing it, so I'm not doing it.
I don't think she would make a decision because Taylor's not doing it. I feel like she wants to be famous in and of herself. So
Yeah, but this is a way to become famous.
Yeah.
So I feel like she is being like, well, if Taylor's above it, then I want to be above it too. Like I really feel
Or
like she has
they
that
have like
mindset.
or she wants her own reality show with her and Patrick.
I roll. That's how you get your own reality show. You go on WAGs of the Chiefs and then you impress them and then they do your own reality show.
Oh, this is specifically for the Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like across all of football.
No, it's Chiefs
Also-
WAGs.
Also, WAGs does means wife and girlfriends. That's all it means.
And in other Taylor Swift news, she was just at the game yesterday and they won and she was wearing a
Monday
plaid outfit. She's really been leaning into plaid with fall because she loves plaid. And the Eras Tour officially kicks off its final leg in Miami, Florida next week.
I was wondering, I'm like, when is that happening again?
Very soon, next week.
It's been quite the drought, and then it ends forever.
And then it's done. But she's been spending, I think a lot of time with Travis. And then she's probably back in rehearsals now since they're starting next week. And I'm sad I don't have a ticket for the final leg of the tour. Honestly, sad. My neighbor's going to the Toronto show. And Cynthia and I were like, should we try to buy tickets and just sleep in her room?
I keep looking at tickets and I'm like, maybe. I'm like, no, there's no way.
No, it's too expensive. They're so expensive. So we'll just have to watch. I'm sure they filmed the new section, the TTPD. Maybe they'll release like a new edition, extended edition of the Eras Tour film. Hopefully,
I think they will probably do that.
they were filming in London,
Yeah,
but that might be for like documentary. Okay, go ahead.
she was wearing sparkle freckles on her face,
And
I saw a TikTok this morning of the woman that's her small business, and she was like sobbing because Taylor was wearing those freckles, and it's like probably going to
Taylor
change her life.
supports lots of small businesses, and I fucking love that. All right. Next on our agenda here, we talked about this last week, but I want to talk about it again because we've been getting emails in, which is great. I think we have like 5 or 6 emails for our impending Dear Christine and Natasha advice episode. So if you haven't heard, we're hoping to do a Dear Christine and Natasha episode where we read letters from y'all about like stuff that's happening in your life that you like want an opinion on, or you want like advice on, dubious advice, if it's like, and it could be anonymous. If it's a spicy thing that you don't want your name on, please just say you want to be anonymous and we will keep it anonymous. That's fine with us. And yeah, whether it's like something like controversial, like am I the asshole, or like any of that, we love that. We also love any other normal stuff questions, and we'll try to answer them. We think that'd be fun to do every once in a while. Get your audience participation, do something a little different. And since our 100th episode's coming up, we're trying to do something fun, and that could be around that area. We're at 94. 94. Wild. So send those letters, please, to us at thoseforkingfangirls@gmail.com. That's thoseforkingfangirls@gmail.com. Thank you very much.
LOL, the way I'm always the asshole.
In other news, months and months ago, we talked about the news that Euphoria season 3 had been put on hold with no date where they were coming back because they just weren't sure when they were going to be able to do that. And there was just news that Zendaya had confirmed that Euphoria season 3 will have a time jump and the characters will no longer be in high school. So that is kind of alluding to the fact that they're back in pre-production, getting ready to go into season 3, which is cool because they had said that they were going to do a season 3, and the fact that it was just like postponed indefinitely it's really never fun to see that.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
I like that they have a time jump.
Did you watch the show at all, though?
No, I can't watch it. I can't handle it.
That's true.
I tried.
I mean, it's a really heavy show. Yeah.
There's too much drug use. It just in the first episode, I was like, oh, I can't watch this. And then the last thing I have down on here is that there's a new book out that I'm really excited about. It's called Attached at the Hip. I actually wrote it. I'm an author. Hi. My name is Christine Riccio. I write books. And Attached at the Hip is a rom-com. It's like Survivor, but with a romantic twist. So when you're on the island, you're attached at the hip to somebody at all times by like 8 feet of rope. And those people are there's one person for everyone that's like a misconnection, but everyone is also like compatible. There's a really intense casting process where the casting people like dig through all their socials and like contact people in their life to find out who misconnections might be and blah 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 blah. It's fun, a fun time. They're actually compatible romantically with 3 different people on the show, and everyone's compatible platonically. So it's a time. And they're living on an island, and they change people every 3 days, and someone's eliminated every 3 days. And our lead character's 23, and her name's Ori, and she's going through a little rough patch in her life. So it's out now. Anywhere you can listen to it on audiobook. If you like audiobooks, Brittany Presley's amazing. If you like to read ebooks, it's on ebook. If you like hardcover books, it's in bookstores. It's available on the websites online. So yeah, and if you already read it and you enjoyed it, please, I would really appreciate it if you took a second to review it on whatever platform that you read it on. So whether that be Amazon or Audible or any of those places that you can get a book on the internet, reviewing it is so helpful, because that is what makes different websites, the algorithm, recommend it to other readers. And
also,
if you've
any
done
of her
that,
books too, if you haven't reviewed them.
Yeah. Any of my books, again, but better together. Reviewing it on the platform that you got it or read it on is really, really helpful in helping me continue to be an author and helping the book continue to find new readers. And if you've already done that, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means a lot. And I do see that like the number of reviews has gone up on next to like the little Amazon thing. And every time I see that, it makes me really happy and really grateful for you guys.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. All right. What's the last thing on here, Natasha? You added it.
Yeah. So Joker 2 premiered this weekend. And actually, I didn't know that it finally officially premiered. But the box office is lower than Morbius and the Marvels.
I'm so sad because everyone's saying it's so terrible. And that like the best part of the movie is Lady Gaga, but she's not given much. And that the parts where there's no music are boring. And that the parts that there are with music were not shot like a musical. So it's not like cinematic in a musically way, you know?
So I'm hearing that it was done poorly.
Well, that's
concept
said.
No, I know, but like they had this concept and it was
executed poorly. That's really sad because the first one was executed so well, and it's sad because Lady Gaga's in it and she's amazing.
Yeah, I love Lady Gaga. I didn't love the first Joker. It just didn't make me feel good, and I wasn't really excited to watch.
Done.
Yeah, outside really well. of how it made me feel, it's a phenomenal movie. So I wasn't necessarily though excited to see the second one, and I'm a little bit okay with now that I've heard that it's not great.
I am really sad. That was like my most anticipated movie of the year. I've had it on my calendar forever. The trailer was really, really good. Sad times. Yeah. I love the first Joker. And
you love the first Joker?
I did love the first Joker, yeah. It was excellent.
Way? Oh.
In what way? I feel like he did such a good job portraying the faults in our society with how we deal with mental health and how people with mental health issues are treated, and what the consequences of us treating these issues as something that's not important enough to take care of results in, and how that the domino effect of that on everyone around them and them themselves. It really just highlights a lot of things that are wrong with the way that we view these issues and deal with them in such a stark way. And just he's so good, and I think the soundtrack is so good, and cinematography is beautiful, and you're really just in it and feeling all of the feelings.
Okay, well, it's good to hear that perspective. Okay,
anyway, moving on to what right now? What have you been reading, Natasha?
I have been reading a reverse harem novel that Julie Murphy recommended. Again, while we were at Romance Con. So
you're on a tear through all these Romance Con books.
I am. It's been a ride, guys. So last week I talked about some of the dark romances I read. And then I really wanted to read a vampire book because it's Halloween time. And I remember Julie just like slightly mentioning this one, that there was like a vampire reverse harem. And I was like, okay, I got to know more about this reverse harem trope. And I like looked into it. I was like, whoa, okay. So if you guys don't know what a reverse harem is, it's like one female character and like multiple men characters. And then that's when we talked about
to ask what it was. Oh, yeah, everyone's heard the episode if you listen to the episode.
Yeah. And then that's when we talked about the crossing. Yeah. So like that doesn't. Yeah. So that means like a couple different things. Like at least it means that there's men on men stuff going on. Okay, so that is all in this book. It's called The Court of the Vampire Queen. This is pretty much like a erotic vampire novel with not a lot of plot. Like it really just seems like there's just like a little bit of plot sprinkled in between the sex scenes. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna read this. And she actually, Katie Robert did the Neon Gods series. She also has those like cutie covers of like the monster romances. So that's what she does. And then
Laura said my worst nightmare is a lesbian not dating one man but dating multiple men.
Laura, this book is not for you. So my official review is that I am enjoying it. Kind of. I really kind of want to get over it and finish it so that I can read something with a little bit that's more plot heavy. And like I want to read like more sexy vampire books, kind of in this fashion, but like with more plot and maybe more intrigue. So
Plot's important. Like it really drives your ability to like pick up the book.
So last week I read Credence by Penelope Douglas, and that's also a reverse harem that has weird, dark, taboo things in it.
Wait, you read another?
No, that was one I read
harem?
last week that I talked about.
Oh, I didn't realize that was reverse harem. I must have gotten lost in something else.
The uncle and the two cousins.
Oh, that's considered a reverse harem. Oh god.
Yeah, and actually that one was a lot better. So
Okay.
as far as like story, even like writing, but I now know that Katie Roberts is there if I need her. You know.
Yeah. Okay, Nicole says, is it one of you who talked about the book The Wives? Because I just finished the audiobook and it was wild. Yeah, we both read The Wives because two other patrons recommended it. And when we were hanging out at those freaking fangirls.
It ends with us screening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was like, I think Rebecca and Shantae recommended it to us, and then we both read it and had a thriller. So, Nicole, I'm glad you read it too. I'm glad you enjoyed. It is wild.
It is
I have
wild.
thoughts, but like you can't really discuss the thoughts because like it's a thriller, so you can't discuss anything without spoiling. All right, I have been on a tear rereading Abby Jimenez's books via audiobook while I write because I need to be in the rom-com headspace, and I've listened to Emily Henry's books too many times, and it's time to reread Abby Jimenez now. And it is really helping me stay in a very like romantic headspace versus anything else I was reading and watching. Like I was watching, I'll just move into this. I was watching Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. Not the right headspace to be in. Not at all. Not at all.
She's like, yeah, I was really just trying to have like a happy, fun time. And my neighbor told me to put on this like docu-series. And it's like, it's not a docu-series. It's a full drama series.
Okay, literally, I asked my neighbor because she's like, oh, I just watched that documentary. And I was like, oh, is it a documentary? It looks like a scripted series. And she was like, no, it's a documentary. I turn it on and it's a full-on fucking, yeah, it's a drama. It's a Ryan Murphy show. And it's like in the same, it's like how he does crime series. So, you know, he did the dramatization of like the OJ trials and the one with Versace. I forget. I didn't watch that one. But, you know, that he made this one and it is like really captivating in a horrible way. Like it's hard. Everything in there is like scarring. It's so intense and so dark. And I just couldn't stop watching it once I got into it because I needed to know what happened. And I was like, what am I doing? This is like completely ruining my writing headspace.
Especially when you're like, yeah, I had to start reading Draco and Hermione stuff because I keep writing like dark romance.
It really like the stuff I'm taking in is really affects my headspace when I'm writing. Like I'll find myself writing more in that tone. And I can't do that right now.
You should just like, you know how like you reread books? You should just keep rewatching Nobody Wants This.
Well, I want to rewatch that. I want to give some time in between, so I needed something else. So I watched Heartstopper season 3. It was so good and gave me so many fuzzy feelings. Like just they're the most adorable humans I've ever seen ever in the universe. Like, and I'm so happy for Alice Osman. She is just slaying. Like she's writing like all of these episodes and she's the author of all the Heartstoppers books and they're just so good and wonderful. And I'm just like, this is so cool. Like, I think she's, I don't know, like a couple years younger than me. Like, and I think it's just so amazing that she has so much control over the series that adaptation of her books. And it's so good.
That is so cool. I can't wait to watch the third season. I always like, I need to give it my full attention because they do so much like texting on screen that like I can't watch it casually when I'm sewing because I'm like, oh, I'm missing something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was excellent. What did you watch this week?
Okay, so for TV this week, I binged Love is Blind, the new season, the first, I think, 6 or 7 episodes that they have up. And this show is just so good. This is the first time I'm watching it, though, live. Usually Christine is way ahead of me, but she's not allowed to watch it or else she will sit there and watch it for 6 hours straight and not get anything done. I was hand embroidering something. What?
I said it. I know. I was just saying it always happens. Like, it's like my kryptonite. Like, I can't stop.
I was hand embroidering and hand sewing, so it was nice just to sit on the couch and do that while the show was running. It's not as dramatic. I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as last season, but
it's in Washington, D.C., though, right?
Yeah. Laura says that Monica works with her wife.
That's cool. I don't know who Monica is because I haven't watched it yet, but I just love that they haven't done like a big city in a while. They've done a lot of like the South. So everyone's really young and like trying to get married at like 24 and stuff and like wanting to have like a million kids already. And it's just like in my head watching it as a 30 something, I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Like, do you actually want to get married? You're 23.
There is one couple that is young on it, and they're probably the most drama-filled couple. And then there's another couple, and she's 36, and they are just like, they make my heart melt. Like, I was just like, when they met.
No, don't tell me anymore.
Okay, sorry.
I can't wait to watch it when I get to watch it. I love watching Love
It's just
is
every
Blind.
time I watch Love is Blind, aside from I think the UK version, I didn't really connect with it as well. I'm like, oh, I should get back on the dating apps.
Literally, I think that's when I last got back on.
Yeah.
It really just like kicks me in the ass. Okay, so can I just say I've been rereading Yours Truly and just reconnecting with the character of Jacob again. And this is the character I talked about when I first read it. And Natasha, I think, talked about it a little bit too. Like, his anxiety is so similar to my anxiety.
Yes, it is.
And it's really highlighting kind of like one of the dudes I dated this past summer was very much like his ex Amy, in that like he just didn't understand my anxiety at all. Yeah. And like just did the complete opposite of things that would ever work for me. And it was just happening. It's happening to Jacob. He talks about it like a lot, like all the things that like she tried to do or she would do, and thinking that like, why aren't you enjoying this? And it's like, because anxious people don't like surprises. Anxious people can't handle like not knowing what's coming next. Like, anxious people love rewatching things. Anxious people love hanging out at home and just like talking. Like, it's just like a lot of really relatable things. And definitely, if you haven't read Yours Truly and you have anxiety, I feel like you should pick it up because you'll feel very seen.
Yes. I mean, even someone who is friends with someone who has anxiety, I was like, wow. Okay, so Alex and I also started Penguin yesterday. We watched the first episode and very intrigued. They have some of the same music as the Batman.
Oh.
And so that was really fun. But yeah, it's a crime drama, and it's very well done. So it's very fun to see something that was like a major motion picture, and now we have this big actor who's at the helm. It's Colin Farrell who's playing Penguin, which is the DC comic villain for the Batman. Because we didn't really get much of him in the movie, and so they also added some new characters to this that I've already liking. So there's only 3 episodes out right now, so excited to see what else happens. And then lastly, I finished Rings of Power. The Rings of Power finale came out last week, and I'm just sad it's over. I absolutely love this season. It was a little slow at times, and I do feel like there wasn't much that happened, but there was still a lot that happened at the same time. I think it's much better than the first season, although I still love the first season because of Haladriel, which is Halbrand and Galadriel. And if you haven't watched it, I'm not going to spoil anything. But if you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, like definitely watch Rings of Power. And also, it's so fun to actually have more knowledge too of the world if you've never read the books, even though this does follow the appendices of Lord of the Rings. It still gives a nice backstory to how the Rings of Power were created, and we get to see Sauron as a character. And those people in Rings of Power are making him way too likable and way too hot. Like it is the way that I am simping for this man, like, this is the Dark Lord. I can't take it, but whatever. You know, it's my Raylo coming back out again. But Sauron is not redeemable in any sense. So
this is a side note. I'm just now like, I just said that, I'm sorry. I just feel I need to clarify because I said that anxious people don't like surprises, but it's like, I just want to clarify that I mean that anxious people don't like surprises with social situations and like stuff that makes them anxious, like food and stuff like that. Like surprises alone.
Were you thinking of that the entire time I was talking?
I was thinking of it because I felt like I didn't want people to get upset. Because, you know, some people get like really like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to clarify. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, we watched the first Lord of the Rings together, most of it.
Christine loved
until
about
midnight.
an hour from the ending.
It was 40 minutes from the end.
Okay.
So I didn't get to see like my favorite part where Sam goes in the water.
Yeah.
But that was fun to watch with Natasha and Alex and ask all my questions.
Extended version Cheyenne, which is almost 4 hours.
Yeah, when I heard extended and it was already like 8:00, I was like, oh fuck, we're not gonna get to the end.
We have to watch the extended version though.
Did we though? Because then we didn't get to the end before midnight.
I know. Well, yeah, you didn't finish.
Well,
and Alex, he like stayed for the beginning part and like he did explain a lot. And I'm glad he was there because I mean, I can explain, but I'm not as good as him when it comes to that stuff. He's more of a teacher. He's got definitely a teacher heart.
It was literally like that podcast episode in real life where like Natasha would say something and then Alex would be like, well, you're explaining it wrong. But that was fun. And like now hearing you talk about the Rings of Power, it is more interesting to me.
It's kind of computing now.
Yeah, because like I didn't have everything in my brain to even understand what you were explaining when you were explaining what it's about. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Last thing is movies. I also started rewatching First Daughter during my dinner yesterday and was so surprised when I saw Amory in it. Okay, I don't know. Y'all might know Amory because she was involved in the booktube world, or you might just know Amory because she's a singer and she's like famous. But like she was like really big in the early 2000s, I think. And she gathered the authors for Because You Love to Hate Me, the anthology that like all the booktubers were involved, a lot of booktubers were involved in, and wrote intros for a lot of author stories. And being like, you know, we're kind of 10 years younger and this came out in like 2004. So like I didn't remember anything about it in terms of like who's in it. And she's the best friend roommate in First Daughter. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Avery, what are you doing here?
She texted me this last night and like I was really trying to connect the dots there. She's like, First Daughter, Amory. I'm like, huh?
Because you were even younger when you probably saw First Daughter, if you saw it when it came out. And I loved First Daughter. I
saw it later.
Yeah, I feel like I even saw it on TV. I didn't see it like I don't know if it was in theaters or anything, but Katie Holmes, I think that's the only movie I've really seen her in, except for Batman. Like, what else did Katie Holmes do?
I mean, she did Dawson's Creek. That was like her big thing.
Oh yeah, and I never saw that because I was too young.
I never watched it either, but yeah, I really only know her from Batman and First Daughter.
Yeah, First Daughter was her like crowning glory, and I loved that movie. So like Katie Holmes.
Yeah. I also get
anyway,
mixed up with the other with the
Chasing
Mandy Moore
Liberty.
movie.
I literally haven't seen that, and I also texted Cynthia last night, and I was like, First Daughter's on Netflix, because I was like assuming she was of the age that was excited about First Daughter as well. But she's like, oh, I never saw that one. I saw Chasing Liberty though, and they're probably the same. And I was like, they're definitely not the same. I never saw Chasing Liberty though, so I should watch that one. That's all I watched this week in movies.
Oh, I want to quickly talk about how we showed Taya, Alex and I showed Taya Silence of the Lambs. And I don't think, and this is the movie that I say like, when I say like, oh, I've been watching movies since a very young age. Like my mother showed us Silence of the Lambs when we were like 7, 8 years old. Definitely way too young to watch that film. But as I was watching it, things were coming back to Alex and I. And this is, I feel like the origin story of when I started liking villains, because the whole movie is basically Hannibal Lecter helping Jodie Foster, Clarice Starling, with this case, and he's like enamored with her, and like he's this evil cannibal, and all he wants to do is like make sure like to help her, and he won't touch her or like harm her in any way. And I specifically remember my mother saying like there's this one scene in Sons of Lambs where she goes up to his cage that's like holding him, and he like caresses her hand, and it's like the first time like they've touched, and my mother going, he loves her. And it all makes sense now.
It's your origin story. Yeah, I watched that movie like at the beginning of college, and I just remember being so grossed out that he like skinned a human being and had it like in the basement.
Nasty.
Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck. All right. Should we move into the main discussion?
Yes.
We're going to move into our main discussion now. Before we do, we're going to take a quick second to thank everybody out there listening. Thank you for being part of our podcast, fam. We love y'all. This is a listener-supported podcast. We could not do it without you. We have a Patreon, and we have lots of fun perks over there. It is patreon.com/@those4fangirls. It's linked in the show notes. And at the $5 tier and up, you get our extra show every week called Fangirl Tea Time. And we just talk about more personal things and stories, stuff happening in our lives that is a little too personal for the main show, but we love chatting with our close-knit Patreon community. So if you want to be a part of that, you can check out the link we have. If you are at the $5 tier, you also get to come to the show, the live shows, the live streams where we record the show and be a part of the conversation. You get the show ad-free, and there are 2 other tiers with lots of fun perks as well that you can check out on the Patreon website. And you can get a free trial for the $5 level if you want to test it out for a week before you decide if you want to commit or not. And if you subscribe annually, you get a 16% discount, which is about a month and a half for free, which is cool. And if you want to support the show in a way that is free, we greatly appreciate that as well. And you can follow the show in your favorite podcasting apps for free, and that helps because then you'll get the show every week. You won't miss an episode. It'll be just sent to your phone. And if you like the visual show, you can subscribe for free on YouTube, youtube.com/@thosworkingfangirls. Every episode we have a video version, so if you prefer that, that's there for you. And reviewing the show is always really helpful too. You can do that for free really quickly. Just give us, if you enjoy it, rate us 5 stars on Spotify in like 2 seconds. That's really easy. And Apple Podcasts, it's really helpful if you want to leave us a little review. We love that. Thank you so much.
Yes, I like looking at the reviews.
Me too. There was one I was actually going to read. I saw the other day. I forgot. Next episode.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. We're going to move into the main discussion. If you are a patron, we're going right on in. If not, we will be right back after these messages. All right. Shit that has revolutionized our routines every day. I really liked thinking about this because I feel like it kind of is reminiscent of like the 30 things I learned before 30 sort of ordeal, but like more focused on wellness. How about you kick us off? What is like one big thing that has changed your everyday in the last couple of years?
Okay, so this is not going to be for everyone because not unfortunately with the overturn of Roe versus Wade, some people don't feel safe having this app on their phone because they are not a sanctuary state. In California, we are. So I downloaded the Flow app. Honestly, I think it was when like Roe v. Wade was overturned 2 years ago. And I was, a couple of my friends have like period tracker apps, and I never like I had one back in the day, like it wasn't really good. And then Taylor, our very wellness focused friend Taylor Toro, she has influenced a lot of these things on my list, and she encouraged me to get the Flow app. And it's a period tracker app, but it also like it helps you understand your cycle. And I think that there hasn't been enough education on women's and females' bodies for the entirety of however long we've been in existence. And it's just now coming about that people are learning about a woman's cycle and how a women's cycle, like a man's cycle is 24 hours. A women's cycle is between, 28 days to 32 days. And the Flow app tracks everything about your period, and it also educates you too. So it gives me I'll track when my period is, and then it tells me, okay, you have this long, and then your period might be starting at this point. But then it tells you like when you're in your follicular phase, ovulation phase, and then the luteal phase, which is a hot topic, a hot phrase right now. Christine laughs because
from Natasha, it just sounds funny. It's a funny name, the luteal phase, and I just feel like Natasha's always like, "Oh, I'm in my luteal phase."
Well, Christine, okay, so explain why our cycles are different, Christine.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a cycle because I am on continuous birth control because I had really terrible, painful period. I was just always in pain and I couldn't like function. I like had fainted during my having cramps and stuff before, and like it was just really, really bad all the time. So my gynecologist put me on like the lowest birth control pill, but like continuously on the lowest dose. And it's like, it changed my life, obviously, because I wasn't constant. Like I would live in fear of like the period, and it just never stops coming. So I don't have the phases. So I haven't like been here for the revolution of knowing like the phases and like being prepared mentally because of like apps and stuff, and being able to like explain these different like things that were happening in my body with science like that. So Natasha now knows all of her phases and stuff, and like when her moods are like going and like when certain things are happening. She'll just be like, my luteal phase has started.
Well, it's really had me, I'm not on birth control. I don't think I've ever shared that. I have very painful periods as well, but they are extremely on time and typically like they're normal-ish, aside from all the fucking pain I have, which is, I haven't been officially like diagnosed with endometriosis, but they think that's what I have. And because most of the women in my family have endometriosis. So I got the Flow app to kind of understand, like, I was really kind of just confused how I had so much energy at one point within the month, and then I would just crash. and it just didn't make sense to me. Like I would, work for, probably about 10 days and get everything done. And then I would just be so low energy and all that. And so that's when I got the Flow app, and they have these things on there that teach you about the phases, and you're able to also implement like whatever you're doing in your day to day, like how much water you're drinking, if you've had cramps that day, if you've been like spotting, anything like that. Even like you can even like your sexual life too. You can even put stuff in there like as well. So that's been honestly revolutionary to me and understanding my body and how I can work best within my cycle, because I was just so confused at how, like, why wasn't I as motivated to do something at a point in my cycle than I was at a different point in my cycle. And the Flow app really helped me. I want to read some of the...
Yeah, I want to address, like Laura said, how do you like being on it? I have PCOS and my period makes me feel so awful, but I've heard scare. Okay, I don't want to hear anything about, like, I don't want anyone to message me about birth control. I don't want anyone to tell me, like, so I know, and I can't live like thinking about that, because I will go into like a fucking spiral that will last months on end. But for me, I was in constant, like, my periods were not regular. I didn't know when to expect it, because I don't have like, I have a low like fat percentage on my body, and like I was like really tiny, and I couldn't, like, sometimes it wouldn't come, sometimes it would come, like it was just like I would never know. And when it did come, and before it came, and then after it came, like it was in so much pain that like I sometimes I wouldn't like be able to do cheerleading. I had to take so much Advil. It was just like, and once I moved away from home, I was so scared of my period coming, because I would be by myself. And I'm like, what if I faint? What if I do this? Like, what if I can't get to the bathroom? What, like, so like without that help, my life was like constant fuckery with the period. So like this has changed my life in that, like, I'm just like a person who can live all the time, like, without having to worry about that and be in constant pain like that. It didn't really have anything like I am healthy on it. Like, I can't go into, like, I fainted at the fucking gynecologist with her telling me about different birth controls. And she's like, I'm putting you on the lowest dose, the one that has the least amount of stuff. It's just going to like make it so that you're not having your period. And I was like, that sounds fabulous. But like Olivia was on one that had like a more regular dose of like hormones in it, and there was like new studies coming out about it with like side effects, and I remember she was explaining them to me, and I knew Olivia was on it, and I just literally like passed out on the floor. I woke up with my face in the carpet and with her trying to like give me a muffin. This is traumatizing. So anyway, I don't really want to go into any of the side effects or just like possible things with birth control. There's stuff like that literally with everything. Everything is like a give and take, okay? And it's like about outweighing the pros and cons of what that medication can do for you, because every medication has lots of side effects that and I think particularly birth control we talk about a lot because it's for women, and some people are like against it and all this stuff, and I feel like just it's like a hot topic. But if it's doing more good, if it is doing good for people, then like you should take it.
Yeah. I think it's whatever you feel is right for you. And as long as you talk to your doctor and you know what you're getting yourself into, then yes. Like I was prescribed birth control last year. I didn't take it. And I'm not going to go into it because it's going to make Christine faint. But I do want to read some of what everyone's saying. I think we never really talked about Roe versus Wade. So I'm going to just quickly go over
depressing.
This.
Yeah,
it is. Tamara has shared a bunch of things in the chat, and she goes, "I love Flow. It helped me find to get my PCOS diagnosed, and same thing with me and endometriosis." And then she goes on to say, like, Roe v. Wade changed my life. I had to move out of Texas to get proper care for cysts and other needs. And that is fucking insane.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Cheyenne says, Laura, I'm in Georgia in constant state of anxiety because of all of this. I got an IUD as soon as Roe was overturned. And then Nicole says Flow is also helpful for trying to conceive. I recently got it to help track my ovulation and get tips. Yes, it is. I'm not in that stage, but it's all up there on the app. And they've got articles on stuff too, just on like women's pleasure and all of that stuff, which is really interesting to read.
Tamara says it's because it's not prioritized. If men had periods, we would have so much more knowledge. Yes. And Katie says, Christine, you sound just like me, how I was with my period, and then it added to my migraines immensely. So that's why I take it the same way you do, and it's changed my life, and I'm not going back. That's how I feel about it too.
Also, I forgot to mention this, but I did just watch Kamala Harris on Call Her Daddy, and they talked all about women's issues on that episode. And so it was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it and definitely encourage you guys all to watch it.
Should we move on to the next thing? That was a deep
for you.
discussion.
Yeah.
All right. Mine is flossing every day. This is so underrated, and people don't start doing it until it's too late and you're having all fucking root canals and shit. I listened to an episode of Hank and John like when I was 27, and they were talking about like the thing. Someone had asked them like, what is the biggest thing you regret not doing in your 20s and 30s? And they were like, flossing every day. Like they are having so many fucking dental issues because they weren't flossing every day. And I was like, oh, that's easy to add into my routine. And I've been wanting to floss every day because I hate getting yelled at the dentist. I would dread going to the dentist just because they would yell at me, not yell at me, but, you know, like give me the lecture like I didn't do my homework. If I wasn't flossing every day, because they could tell instantly because your gums start to bleed. And what has like, I mean, I think maybe people, I don't know, maybe there was information about this all along, but I think it's become a bigger part of the zeitgeist, the understanding that like so many diseases start in your mouth.
Yeah.
And like heart disease and everything starts in your mouth, and it starts from like all that bacteria sitting in between your teeth and shit. So flossing's not hard. It takes about 2.5 to 3, 4, 5 minutes. I do it while I'm like unwinding, and I'll like put on a show and I'll floss or listen to a podcast. And when you first start doing it, it kind of like your gums bleed because they're already fucked from not flossing, but that stops pretty quickly. And like it's so weird, like in the beginning you can like smell on the floss like your mouth, and it's disgusting. And then once you start like flossing regularly, there starts to be no smell because your mouth is so much healthier, and I feel like even like your teeth look better and everything's just better, and it's so preventative in terms of like all the issues that you're going to face later in life. So just start flossing. Just floss every day. It's not hard.
I floss maybe like twice a week, so I should probably do it more.
Yeah, it's just really, it's a really good habit to get into early. So as soon as, and it'll just make you feel better about yourself. You'll just be like, look at me, I'm flossing every day. When I go to the dentist, look at me. My new goal is to start using the fucking Waterpik that I've bought a year and a half ago, because
I don't like the Waterpik. It scares me.
It doesn't. I know, but it's a million times better than flossing, and it gets everything out, like all the hard stuff, and it's so good for your mouth, and like it almost like prevents you having to go to the dentist. And the first step was buying it, and then I put it on my counter, and then I just never tried it because I know it squirts everywhere, and I'm going to be a mess, and you have to learn to use the Waterpik. But I need to start using the Waterpik. I got the stuff to put in it, because if you put a little bit of like hydrogen peroxide, but make sure you get the hydrogen peroxide for food, because regular hydrogen peroxide has a lot of like chemicals and shit in it that are not good to put in your body. I bought that special hydrogen peroxide. You put a little bit in it and a little bit of mouthwash in it and water, and it fucking makes your teeth whiter and so much healthier. And you just do it with the hydrogen peroxide a couple times a week instead of not every time. And I just want to do that. I know it's going to help so much, and I haven't done it. So yeah, flossing. But Waterpik is the next level up.
A lot of people are asking, like, I use the little like green things with like the string on it and go like deep, 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 deep. But Christine likes to use actual floss. Is there a difference?
You get much more when you're able to like you gotta like do a little shimmy. You go up one side and you gotta go down and do a little shimmy. Go up that side. That's the proper way to floss. If you go to the dentist, they teach you.
Well, I do that. I do that too with the little pick thing.
Yeah,
like I go up and down.
I just
feel
like
clean
you
it.
get more. What is it called? Leverage on it. You know, I can't do it with those stupid picks. I hate them.
Oh. Sounds like Christine is a gold star level flosser.
I have like now I'm like into the thicker, like the more ropier the floss, the better it is to get shit off. And now like the glidey waxed kind, I'm like, oh, this isn't getting enough. Okay. Also if you have a permanent retainer, it's you can't like floss properly, and eventually you're gonna have to get it out, and those teeth are gonna be fucked. Because I had it too. I just got them out like 2 years ago, and I'm so glad I did because it was starting to get all fucked in there.
That's where the water flosser, waterpik,
the water
comes in handy.
Be very helpful.
That's why I got it, is so I could get the things behind my permanent. Did you have one on the bottom or on both?
I had them on both. And they were both fucking just not working anymore anyway, because my wisdom teeth fucked everything up when they took it out.
When did you get your wisdom teeth out?
2018.
I don't remember this.
You don't remember this? My mom came out to help me.
Oh.
I was writing my first book. I was on like a deadline. This. Yeah. So anyway.
I got my wisdom teeth out at 16.
Yeah, I know. I got them out at 28. I was old. But they weren't down because I was a very late bloomer, so they weren't ready to be taken out till my late 20s. What a time, guys.
Oh my God, Natasha, you were so wise at such a young age. It was not me, it was my parents. There was like a full I didn't get braces until I was I think a sophomore in high school, but that's when all my dental stuff went down, baby. It was a lot at once. Braces, I got my wisdom teeth out, and I had 2 bicuspid teeth pulled out, so I had 6 teeth out at once because I had such an overbite because I sucked my thumb until I was 14 years old. Don't know if you guys know that about me.
Oh my God. My teeth were fucked because I had my pacifier till I was 3.
Well, try 14. And then I had to have a spacer.
How?
I had to have a space because I couldn't stop. And then the mouth guard, the mouth jewelry in my mouth was intense. Okay. I had a spacer and then a cage so that I couldn't suck my thumb. And so every time it was horrific.
You've never talked about this to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What the fuck? I can't imagine putting my thumb anywhere near my mouth after the age of 5 because it's disgusting and full of germs.
Well, that's you, okay?
I know. When I think about that pacifier now, I'm like, I just would stuff that under my pillow, stuff it in my mouth. It would just come everywhere. They're disgusting.
Okay, Jenny says floss hack, tie a knot so the string is a loop, I'm assuming a big loop. Then you don't have to cut off circulation in your fingers.
Oh, I have a whole technique where I wrap it here and go. It does cut off a little, so I just don't look at that finger till I'm done.
Hey, Tamara sucked her thumb until she was 13, and she also had a cage. Wow. Laura said she also had 6 teeth out at once too because they were too big. Yeah, see, it was too big for my mouth. Wow. Just sharing our dental trauma right now. All right. Moving on.
Well, anyway, dental health. Get on that shit. Get on that shit as early as you can. If you can't do anything else, floss. All right. What's next on your list?
Okay. So this year I changed all my skincare, unfortunately. I thought my skin was impervious. I was able to really do anything to it and it was fine. And that all changed. I think when I started getting extremely stressed and anxious and, I turned 30. So I had to change all my skincare to all sensitive, skin. And I now basically only use vanicream. I was using CeraVe and I still use La Roche-Posay, but I just use like the face wash stuff, but that's all I use. Like I don't use any serums, guys. I don't use literally anything. I just use face wash and moisturizer, and it kills me because I would love to use like a retinol or anything else, but I can't because my skin will fucking freak out.
I'm just going to add this one, kind of piggybacking off of my floss. Wear your retainer. Wear your retainer every day.
Don't have one of those.
I feel like I've talked about this, but like once you start to like get into your 30s, all of a sudden you notice your teeth are starting to look different because if you're not wearing your retainer, they're moving. And there's so many people on like Tinder and stuff and like dates I've been on with like jacked up teeth because they didn't wear their retainers. And your teeth just start to move. It's rare that to find a human that's teeth don't start to move who had braces who doesn't wear their retainer. Because it takes years, but it starts to happen. But anyway, some people are blessed and their teeth aren't starting to move, but a lot of people you start to notice at least like their bottom teeth are starting to be weird. If they're not wearing their retainer. So my teeth were, I didn't notice until it was because it was triggered by the removal of my wisdom teeth for surezies. But like by the time it was like 2021, I was like, what the fuck is happening to my teeth? Like the fronts were like starting to move out and sideways. And I just like, I was like, I went through so much with my braces. How dare they move? And now I got new retainers because my built-in ones were broken and not working. And I just have like the Invisalign retainers I pop in every night. That's an easy one. All right, let's talk about face stuff. Cause yeah, we all have like our face renaissance where all of a sudden we have to change all the products we're using or use more products if you're not using any products. Some of us don't know about skincare until we're 25. And that was me.
That was not me.
I didn't even use a moisturizer because I was like, that's going to give me pimples.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So at 25, I started using like a moisturizer and I started using Water Drench by Peter Thomas Roth. And that's like what is that called? The H starts with an H.
Hyaluronic?
Hyaluronic acid. So and it's like a sensitive one. I use that and I use a moisturizer. And I can't use any of like the retinols and shit either. My skin's too sensitive. Something that really changed my skin game because I have KP, keratosis on my face, keratosis pilaris. If you don't know what that is, you've seen it. It's like little red bumps and like a lot of people have it on their arms. Yeah, I had it on my arms too. It's gotten much better. But like I was so fed up with how red it was over my eyebrows and how like the texture of it, and it's gotten so much better by using this, what is it called, this CBD face serum that I started using. Hold on, I have it right here. It's Flora and Blast, and it's made by Flores and Blast. It's called Age Adapting Serum, and it has CBD oil in it, and it has changed the game for me. The skin is just so much smoother because it used to be little dots you could feel all across my face, and it has been like that since I was in 7th grade. And I started using this like once a day, use like 5 to 6 drops, and it's changed the whole texture of my skin. And I use Vaseline over it at night. I just put like a thin layer of Vaseline. So if you have KP on your face, definitely give that a go. It really helps also when I'm like really stressed out and starting to break out. I feel like it really helps keep it under control. It's my favorite thing I've started using since 2020. Yeah, and I'm afraid of CBD. And I also think it's helped with like fine lines and stuff. Like just like you know how like in your skin from like moving your forehead, you can kind of just see. It really helped with that too.
Mm-hmm. I also I didn't until my mid 20s start lotioning up my entire body. My mom told me to do this my entire life, and I didn't listen to her. And then I did get stretch marks all over. Like everyone has stretch marks, and that's perfectly normal. Mine were red, like really red and fiery, like all on my stomach. And that's when I started using lotion, like in 2020. I was 27, I think. And I use Nivea, or I use Palmer's coconut oil, body oil. And honestly, like, my skin's so soft. It used to be like my thighs used to be just dry, and my butt used to be just dry. And it's just made my skin so soft, and it also has gotten mostly rid of the Polaris, whatever it's called.
Yeah. So this is on my list too, because it used to be like really red on my arms. And my sister who also had it, would literally loofah her arms till they were bleeding because she wanted it off. And it was horrible. And she like touched my skin like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. She's like, what did you do? How did you make it go away? And I was like, I just use Palmer's cocoa butter moisturizer on it every day. I just always put moisturizer on my arms. Like that's it just needs moisture.
Yeah.
And it literally is like mostly gone. It doesn't feel like that anymore at all. Like those little bumps, it feels much like almost normal.
Yeah.
But yeah,
smooth.
moisturizing changes the game. Like you don't realize your skin is dry when you're younger because you don't give a fuck. You're like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What's dry skin?
Yeah, I told like how I put my lotion on is I do it after the shower, so I don't put it on when my skin's
That's
like.
when you're supposed to.
Yeah, and so everyone like I get out of the shower. I don't typically use a towel because towels gross me out.
Oh my God. That's how you get water all over the floor.
There's a couple stories there.
Step out.
Well, I like air dry, okay? And then I step out and then I put lotion all over, and I have demonstrated this. You just go arm down. Also started putting lotion in my armpits to get rid of like at least the oil, to get rid of like the dark, and then down all the way to your feet, and then back up and then over your butt, guys. It's real quick, okay? Do it.
I like moisturizing. I don't need to do it at the race.
I don't like being cold.
Oh, maybe if you dried off a little bit, you wouldn't be.
I like the water. It helps get the moisturizer even.
I dry off a little bit and then I do my moisturizer. I go from the bottom up, so I do like my legs and butt and like stomach and boobs. Like do all of that area. Do everything. Arms, don't miss it. Because especially as you start to get older, it makes a big difference.
Also, your crotch. Don't get anywhere near the vag. Just get
don't do your
there.
vag. No,
Definitely don't do that. That's a
No,
self-cleaning organ.
That is how you get a UTI or a yeast infection.
Or something else. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, like
We have the
wrapping up
same
the
one here.
skincare stuff, I'm going to just talk about sunblock. And you might have heard this already, but like the Japanese sunblock, I think it's like joseon or something. That sunblock is so nice on your face. Do you know what it's called, Natasha? It was like
No.
viral, I feel like. Okay.
Yeah, but I never bought it. I don't
Well,
know what it is.
Our sunblocks in America, for the most part, are pretty shit. So there's this Japanese sunblock called like joseon or something. I'll write it in the actual show notes. That works really good on your face, and it's really like good for sensitive skin, and it goes on like a moisturizer. It's really nice. I've been using that on my body, and then on my skin. You want to wear sunblock every day, especially if you're like seeing the light of day. But like your face sees the light of day in the car, it sees the light of day just walking from place to place, especially in California. I've started using this Nivea Super Water Gel sunblock, and it's so nice because it goes on so quickly, and it's like so like thin that it's like a gel. It's not like a thick giant blob that you have to like rub in, and you still look like you've gone through like a vampire machine. Like it's not like that, and it's really changed the game in terms of like getting ready to go outside because I can put it on so quickly and it like gets absorbed so fast, and it's SPF 50. It's the best. So sunblock
I
protects your
use
skin.
La Roche-Posay.
I used that for a while too, but that does take rubbing in a lot.
Yes, I use that every day. And someone said, who is it up here? Nicole, make sure to take your moisturizer down your neck. Also take your
Yes.
sunblock down your neck.
And fragrances are bad. Yeah, Katie says fragrances are not your friend when it comes to skin stuff. Yeah, I don't use anything with fragrances anymore either.
Katie says, my understanding is that in the U.S., sunblock is under the FDA, so there are certain ingredients that can't go into it, while many other countries classify it as skincare so they can use more helpful ingredients. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I've heard.
Part of it is also like the corporate world. It will cost a lot of money to change like the core ingredients of sunblock. Like we haven't changed sunblock since like 1999. And there's been lots of updates, but doing those updates cost these corporations big money because of all like the equipment and the stuff used to make it and blah 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 will be a pain in the ass for them. So US doesn't approve the new shit. So yeah, we're so behind in that area.
So next, Christine also has something on here that relates to mine. So I want to talk about liquid makeup. This is something that I have implemented into my makeup routine probably over the last 4 years. And this is like your liquid bronzer, your liquid blush. You're probably already using concealer and foundation like that. But I never use this stuff because I was never taught to use this stuff until I started watching more things. And I was like, oh my God, that's just like another stupid product that we have to use. And then we just put the powder on top. How it works is like you want to use liquid to put like the pigment on your face. And then you want to set it with the powder version of it, or else the powder will just fall off throughout the day. I was really into like the whole contouring thing and really getting into that, and I thought I could only use powder, but then like, you know, on the the market got bigger and bigger with contouring, and that's how we introduced also liquid blush, because blush wasn't a big thing back in like the 2010s on, but now it's like a big thing. Everyone uses blush finally. Jesus Christ.
I always liked blush.
I've always liked blush too. I just don't know why it wasn't like a big thing.
Because being tan was a big thing. And blush wasn't tan.
But so what I do now is I do all my liquid makeup, and then now I know the difference between a setting spray and a finishing spray. We know like the what they call it, one size setting spray, like the alcohol one that's like an aerosol. So that's actually a finishing spray. So that's supposed to finish off your makeup.
At the end of everything. Okay.
At the end of everything, lock it all in. But what you kind of want is something that's liquidy in like a spray bottle that you put on after all your liquid makeup is on, because what that does is kind of meld everything together and lock it in and lock in the moisture of your liquid makeup. So that's basically anything that's not that one size aerosol spray. Even I think Morphe also has an aerosol spray that that's more of like a finishing spray. So if you use both of those products when you have like a long day, that's really going to set your makeup for 12 hours plus. Like this is what you want to wear, what you want to do or do in your makeup routine if you're going to do like a long Disney day or something like that, like a long day at a wedding. That's what you want in your routine to keep your makeup on your face and lasting forever, is you use both sprays.
Yeah, I really like my Milk setting spray.
Yeah, I just use that. I really like that one too. I just use Christine's because I'm all out of mine.
Yeah. And yeah, I have a finishing spray too. The one that I have from Tatcha that gives like more of like a dewy look. That's like definitely a finishing spray, not a setting spray.
Yeah.
And then the Milk is the setting spray. Let me go to a different one. One of the big things that I've changed in my routine is my dog. Huge change to my lifestyle for, I think, ultimately the better, even though it was really hard in the beginning, because I remember what it was like before I got my dog, and I didn't have like the motivation to get up and stay on a routine, and staying in a routine is really healthy. And for me, it brings me a lot of like peace and stability in my mental state. And he's changed so much. I know we've talked about, like, I have friends in my neighborhood just because of my dog, and I like talk to people regularly IRL because of my dog. But like just getting up and having to get up and like take a walk in the morning has really changed my morning routine. And it feels annoying sometimes, but it gets me up, it gets me outside and moving my body every day. And I am really grateful for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're supposed to get sunlight in like the first 30 minutes of being awake. That's what I heard.
That's a stretch. But he really has helped my mental health, because going on walks, really good for your mental health. Just really helps anxiety. Yeah.
Well, I can't take my dog out on a walk because it helps, it creates anxiety. Because we got him when we were 18, and he is not nice to other dogs, and I'm like always on the lookout, very aware of if anyone is being walked, any other dog, and I was like, okay, we gotta turn around. So not my favorite thing to take my dog out on a walk. That's Alex's job.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's really like, if you want your dog to help, I feel like, with your mental stability life,
you need to be intentional about it.
Be intentional about it. Yes. Yeah.
We were very young, 18. He's now 12, guys. So
yeah, it's different.
So I deleted Instacart. I think I talked about at the beginning of this year how I deleted DoorDash and all those apps. Mm-hmm. I still have DoorDash. I use it occasionally, but I stopped using Instacart because I hated going to the grocery store, but now I use the grocery store apps. So it's a way to be able to also shop online, but then you don't have to also get all those fees and tipping and all of that. And like, there's other people who want to use that. Perfect. I don't want to spend any extra money on grocery store products or food that is already fucking expensive now. So I use the Stater Brothers app, and it's really helped me. And it's also, I also go into the store now because I just didn't used to like it, but now I do. And it still helps me because I plan out my meals. And this is another thing. I think it's really helped me by memorizing recipes. I memorize about 5 to 10, and I switch those out so that I don't feel overwhelmed when it comes to, feeding myself and my brother. And when I'm using the app, I can easily look at, okay, like I've got this, I got that. It doesn't, I think the grocery store overwhelmed me because I would have to make a list and then like walk to the store. And then if I forgot something, I have to go back. And so now I just have the grocery store app, and I can look at it and then just press pay, and then someone else shops for me, and I just go pick it up, and it just, lifesaver.
Yeah, the grocery store app is like a hack when it comes to needing to like pick up groceries and not have to go to the store, because the other apps like Instacart, like you're saying, do like charge you an extra fucking $20. Like your groceries will come out to like $60, and then it'll be like $85 with all their fees and the tip. And you're just like, what the actual fuck? And with the grocery store app, you just go in a parking spot, and like they bring you the groceries, and it's totally easy and cool. Anyway, next thing on my list, this is a recent purchase. My Apple Watch has really like changed the way like my day goes in a good way. I just really like the health aspect of it, because I do a lot of sitting during the day because I'm a writer and I make content, which is a lot of editing, and it'll tell me to stand up if I'm sitting too long. Like the closing the rings feels like a game. So there's like a ring for like moving your body every day, like exercise, and like I guess like a calorie ring, and like a standing ring. And like, just if you've done enough moving, you close all the rings, and it's like, you closed the rings today, woohoo! And it just feels like a nice like little motivator to like move, and I love it. Also, like, it allows me to like in the car, if I get like a text, or if I'm like listening to music and I don't like it, I can just like tap and like I could just glance at it really quick. It's just much more accessible and like safer. I feel like when I'm running around to just like take a quick glance at my watch, make sure it's not important, keep moving.
I've always been interested about the Apple Watch, although it's been a little expensive for me to like justify purchasing. I feel like knowing me, I would just disregard it. Like, stand up. No, bitch, I'm not standing up.
That's what my neighbor said. I was like, I love how it tells me to stand. She's like, oh, I'm always like, shut up.
Yeah, that's our personality showing. I have the fitness app on my phone, and it said, it's like, just do another brisk 5-minute walk to close your ring. I was like, no, it's 3 a.m.
I mean, mine never tells me to go for a brisk walk. Wait, when did it tell you that?
My phone tells that. My phone tells me that.
Phone tells that? See,
Yeah,
phones know nothing. My phone was telling me I was doing like 6,000 steps a day. It turns out I'm doing 8,000 to 9,000 steps a day, and it was thousands of steps off.
I would love that for like a Disney day to see actually how many steps I walk.
Yeah, it's like, because my phone was always annoying me because I was like, these steps are not correct. I've been doing so many steppings. And Katie says the Apple Watch is so worth it, and she says she pays $20 a month for it, so basically free. Little girl math. Yeah, I don't pay anything a month because I didn't get that plan, but like it's enough just tracking, because I also started using the Future app, which is like a personal trainer app, and that really like works in tandem with the watch because it like tracks your heart rate and stuff while you're doing like the exercises, and it shows like how that's going, and you close your rings when you do the exercise, which is great. You win the game. But anyway, that's
win the game.
I am a competitive girly, and this is really helping me. And doing the Future app, like doing weights and stuff every day or every other day, has just made me feel so much stronger already, and I'm really glad that I got it. It's been worth the $500. When I bought it, I was like, I can't believe I just dropped $500 on a watch. And it was like one of those impulse purchases in the night. But I actually really love it. And the hardest part of the watch for me is charging it, because it comes with a little thing that you can't plug into the wall. It's this kind of charger that like doesn't use the phone charger. It's the new phone charger, but it's not even the new phone charger. It's like a little platform you have to put it on, and you have to plug the new phone charger thing into it. So I basically use my computer charger to charge my watch. I plug in the adapter and charge it, and
I feel like that charges it too much.
No, it charges it really fast. It's awesome.
So it has the USB-C charging port.
Yeah, but you have to plug that, like you plug in with the USB-C, and then you have to pop it on top of like this little platform.
That's stupid.
I know. That's what I mean. Like, I can't plug it into anything. I don't have anything I could plug into a USB-C thing except for the charger that I have for my computer. So anyway, I charge it in the morning while I'm like eating my breakfast, and then by the time I do my makeup and come down, it's charged.
You're missing all those steps.
I know. Up and down the stairs that 15 minutes. But whatever. That's the best way for me, because if I wait till night, I'll just forget about it, and then it'll die, and I'll just leave it for a day or two, and it won't get any of my steps. So I'll lose the game for 2 days, and it'll be like, your streak is gone.
Okay, I have to talk about my favorite hair accessory, which is my hair curling overnight noodle. Wow, the overnight curling noodle.
My overnight noodle. I call it like one of those pool noodles.
Well, I call it the hair noodle. It's not called that. It's like overnight curls. The one that everyone has is the Kish one, and you definitely want that one because you don't want something that's too hard. You want like a squishy, like overnight hair noodle. I have been trying to do overnight curls my entire life, and like I have done them semi-successfully. I used to like put my hair up in a bun, and then I would wrap the end of my hair around the big scrunchie, and it would kind of like leave though like a dent in my hair. And so I always wanted to like make something, and I can't believe someone did it. Whatever. But it has changed my routine.
Missed your chance to invent it.
Yes. So it has changed my routine. Although I do have to say, I don't like using the overnight curling noodle on my hair without extensions. So I do feel that the curling noodle really only works for if you have thick, like at least medium to long hair. It doesn't work for everyone.
I should get a curling noodle.
Yeah, I would love to see if you could do it. There's definitely a learning curve.
Set it up.
Yeah,
Probably
there's
not.
definitely a learning curve. But like when I first used it, it didn't work. Okay.
Well, I need to get a Natasha Polis
Tutorial? I should probably do a tutorial so that if people know how I use it. Once I started, so I would have loved to put getting hair extensions in this list, but that's not accessible for everyone. But getting hair extensions really improved my life and improved like how I feel, because I wake up and I have like gorgeous, beautiful hair. I don't have to do a lot to like make it look great. And also extensions hold your curls. So that's why it works really well with overnight noodle. So if you have medium to thick hair, this will change your life. So what I do typically and how I make the hair work for me is after I blow dry my hair, I do it on like hair that is air dried, but it works best if you've gotten out of the shower, you blow dried your hair. Okay. And then I basically flip both like the top half of my hair forward so that I don't have it like flat on my crown, and I start wrapping it around the hair. And then I see a lot of people just going to bed with the hair noodle just touching the pillow. No. You need a bonnet. Now, I think one of my greatest things in the last 4 years is encouraging literally everyone to get a hair bonnet.
I have a hair bonnet now.
Yes.
I have 2, 3.
I have like 5.
But only one that I like.
So hair bonnets have come from Black women, and they protect their hairstyles. And it wasn't really until recently that like hair bonnets started becoming more of a thing for all people. I got one because I was really focused on my hair health and like preventing breakage and frizz, and also to securing my naturally curly hair. And so that's why I got one, and I use it every single night. And I think it has really helped improve. But if you use the bonnet with the hair noodle, your curls are going to look great. And you're going to wake up and you're going to have this like blown out curly hair, and it's going to last. It'll fall throughout the day, but it'll last until the next wash.
Is the hair noodle on like Amazon?
Yeah, it's the Kish one. It's the KITSCH.
Oh, they make those. They make the satin pillowcases.
Yeah. So they do a lot of like hair care stuff, and I also use the hair noodle. I like also will wrap it. I'll fold it in half, and then I'll flip my entire head over, and then roll my whole head of hair into that, and that'll create like more of like a blow dry look.
Every time you're describing how to do it, it goes.
Well, okay, I'll have to show everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've definitely started wearing hair bonnet because of your influence, and I do use like satin and silk pillowcases now for my face.
Katie says, I've been trying this lately. I've been using socks, but I have such a hard time sleeping with it.
Using socks as a noodle?
Yeah, so I use socks too, and then also the bathrobe belt. I used to use that. You guys should really just like get the hair noodle. It's gonna help you because it's got that wire in it, and it helps it stay. And if it's like, if you're not having a good night's sleep with it, try to not make it go on the sides of your head, but more on top, like if that helps. Laura, I want Natasha saying overnight noodle to be my ringtone.
Next on my list is microbladed eyebrows. This isn't for everyone, obviously, but people who have to dry their eyebrows, this has fucking changed my life. Just like, I don't have to. Literally, when I take a picture in the morning, like I do sometimes because of I'm a creator. Like I look like a person, and I'm like fine with posting the picture. And like before I was fine with it sometimes not, because I would be in like a mood where I'm like, I don't want to be like a naked alien, because I just felt like a naked alien sometimes with my like naked alien face. But anyway, I just feel like I already have makeup on, even though like nothing's on. I just have eyebrows, so I feel like a person who's ready to see the world. And eyebrows every day, I would sit there drawing them, and I just be like, whatever comes out is what today's gonna be. And now, like my memories that pop on my phone sometimes are a jump scare, because my eyebrows are like fucking ridiculous. And I like some days they're good, and I'm like, wow, that was a good eyebrow day. But like a lot of days will pop up, and I'm like, I have one eyebrow and one ghost. Like there's just like a ghost on the side of my face because the eyebrow got wiped away somehow. And that could happen any time of the day. I could just be like ghost face and eyebrow. Like what is wrong with it?
Just
It's
one
ridiculous.
eyebrow.
It's ridiculous. I sent Natasha a picture from our trip to London, and it was just like one really good eyebrow and then one nothing. It was just like a faded blur.
I didn't realize that I also had Christine's eyebrow blindness. Like a lot of people, I had so many mutual friends as I was like reading your list. I was like, oh my God, so many mutual friends who was like, can you help Christine with her eyebrows? Like, can you just help her? Can you tell her about her eyebrows? And I was like,
But like
they're
the thing
fine.
is,
They're on her face. It's fine.
also, the thing is, I would be like, fuck you when people said that, because you're not doing it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I tried so much to learn eyebrows, and it's so hard. And the thing is, Olivia tried to do my makeup once, and she couldn't do it either. She was like, I don't know what to do because I don't see anything. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. There's nothing to trace. You can't help me unless you're an eyebrow expert. Literally, the only person who could help me was my eyebrow wizard who did the microblading, because she's a trained eyebrow expert. That's who has to be doing your eyebrows if you have nothing there. Like, this is what people don't understand, because so many people would be like, ew, your eyebrows are terrible. It's like, they're not there. So I'm drawing from scratch every day. That's not what you do when you fill in your eyebrows. You have something there that you're tracing. I was tracing nothing. I was working off a blank paper without lines every day.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, they're fine. But at least they're on your face.
They have to be fine. That's the thing. And like, I know that they weren't perfect, but it was like, it doesn't matter, because or else there's nothing. I don't have an hour to spend on my eyebrows every day.
She'd just be like,
And now,
whoop, oops. Okay, well, just go for it.
I would draw the shape and I'd fill it in, and I'd be like, wow, this is a bad day or this is a good day. But whatever, today we're moving. We've got work to do. And I don't want to like ever look at someone and be like, ew, your eyebrows are bad. I know, I've been there, and there's nothing you can do unless you don't want to have eyebrows. Like, there's no artist there every day to help. Yeah, and I had it down, but like I just don't have the time to do it like that every day. You have to like take lots of time, and erase it and do it again, and like
I'm just happy you got your eyebrows microbladed.
Anyway, yeah,
and you took the leap.
Eyebrows. These are $1,000 eyebrows, but now I'll have eyebrows forever because I'm gonna get them touched up once a year so they don't disappear.
How much is the fee to get them touched up?
I don't know. I'm thinking it'll probably be like $500 or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. That's my guesstimate based off of how much, because it's actually $1,500 from her for the eyebrows, but we did a collab and she gave me a $500 discount.
Maybe I should go into that field. That sounds
You
good.
should. She does courses.
Fun. Oh.
She teaches courses.
Does she have like a cosmetology license, or is it like an esthetician?
She has all the things. She used to be a makeup artist.
Oh, makeup artist.
Makeup artist. But then she got her eyebrow certificate. I don't know what it is. It's like stuff that I don't know much about, but there's other. She told me about it. I don't remember the specifics.
Katie says, as a member of the eyebrow ghost community, thank you for microblading content. Haha, I'm considering it now.
Yeah, no, Katie, I really think it's worth it. It's just been so worth it, honestly, especially like if you have especially if you see your face all the time. But even if you don't, I still would like, it's nice to have eyebrows. If you're getting your eyebrows microbladed and it's less than $500, just don't trust it. You want to get it. This is your face. It's a tattoo on your face.
Yeah.
You want to get a good person, and those people are most likely not very trained. I mean, like microblading is not exactly a tattoo, but it's very much like similar. It's not, doesn't go as deep, but like it looks like real eyebrows because they do like little strokes that look like hair, and you want someone who's good at that.
Yeah, very precise with a steady hand. Okay, so let me just preface this that I never really worked out my entire life. I never really understood how the whole thing works. I'm still scared to go into a gym, even though I would like to now. But I did find exercise that I really enjoyed, which was Pilates. And I started that like 2 years ago. I don't get to go as often anymore because it's so expensive, but I do now have a really good foundation where I can do a lot of these exercises at home. And like when my lower back starts hurting, like I get on the floor and I do my little Pilates exercises. Like I remember I was at D23 this year, and like Taylor and I our lower backs were just killing us because we were just walking all the time. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to lead us in some Pilates exercises. And it helps so much. And also it's a really great like strength training, low impact exercise that I really enjoy. Now, I don't think I'll ever go to like a really intense class because that's just not my jam. So I like a nice, like easy flow type of thing. So
I feel like
I love Pilates.
That's yoga too.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy yoga if you went to the right classes that you liked.
I probably would.
The type of Pilates you like is like very yoga-esque. Because like that intense Pilates is fucking death. I would do an intense Pilates class. Like this is, I did not like it. It just went so fast too.
It's way too fast. Yeah.
It's like, I can't see if I'm doing it right because she just says to do it and it's like, ah!
And that's not good.
And I don't like changing all the things constantly. You're like changing all of the rubber bands and the things on the machine. I guess like you get good at it. But I just like a slower pace because I find it really calming. Let's talk about soap dispensers.
What?
Soap dispensers have really changed my home life in the way that like I'm saving a lot of money on soap because I was just buying soaps and like having to throw them out because there's like those temporary things, and now I just buy refills, and it just changed everything. Like what a wonderful money saver it has been. And I love my like little dispenser. So what happens with like the soaps that you buy, the temporary ones, it shoots out so much soap, so you use it so much faster and it's gone, and you don't need like a $50 size blob of soap to wash your hands. And what I've found is like the soap dispensers that you refill like give you a normal amount to wash your hands with, and I go through soap so much slower. I've saved so much money doing that over the past 2 years, and I'm like, wow, really should have gotten soap dispensers earlier on in life. There's a lot of cute ones. I just have like basic Amazon ones, but I'm like, I want to get novelty soap dispensers. Like I want cool ones.
It's hilarious to me. I've always had soap dispensers like my entire life. I just always get like the refill soaps. Like I hate the little like dial like plastic soap.
No, never
just, like,
get dial. Dial really dries out your skin. If you're gonna get one of those, get soft soap. That's the cheap one that doesn't dry out your skin. Yeah.
But I'm saying like when you get the already like pre like bottles at the grocery store, and then they get really low, and then they're just like weightless, and you can't like fucking push down the dispenser.
They're a pain in the ass. Ugh. And then like I know I've seen you do this, and my mom used to do this, to put water in it. I'm like, and then it just squirts at me everywhere. I'm like, ah!
I do it constantly.
Sometimes
I can't get soap fast enough, and I'm gonna have to put water
in. The consistency becomes just like water, and it just goes. Oh man. Anyway.
Okay.
So
quickly, I'm gonna go through the last few I have here, or two at the same. I don't know. Okay. So this year I've had some few health issues that I've had to figure out, and honestly all came from stress and anxiety. I was getting sick every other month. I mean, if you guys were here on the podcast, you know, like we've had to reschedule or you've heard me, and it was affecting my life intensely. I wasn't taking any vitamins, so I didn't know what to do. And so I enlisted the help of my friend Taylor, who is the wellness queen. And I started taking Mary Ruth's multivitamin, but I don't just take the normal one. I take the 40 plus one. And that's what she told me to take. And she's like, it's a lot better for you. And so it's like a liquid vitamin that I take every day. And I like the taste of it. It's fine. And then I also started taking vitamin C and vitamin D because I was getting very dizzy in April. And I was like, what is going on with me? Like, I'm just so confused. Like, I've got all these aches. It's because I was extremely vitamin D deficient, as my blood test showed. And yeah, so take your vitamins, y'all. And I, knock on wood, haven't been sick since June since I started that. So thank the Lord God Almighty.
I'm glad you're on vitamins. I take a daily vitamin, and what's changed the game for me is taking magnesium. Magnesium is like super good for women for so many things. It helps with anxiety. It helps with muscle cramps and soreness, and helps with sleep. And there's 3 different types of magnesium. I take the one that is for like calming effects, but there's also one like for energy. That one was making my heart palps worse, so I stopped taking it. But like the one that I take, let me just get it because I really like this brand. Okay, the one that I take now, I got this recommendation from Tara Mafi back in like 2020. I screenshotted her stories because I was like, I want to take that. I have the same problems. And it's called Magnesium Replenish, and it's made by Welina. But there's lots of like, my mom has just gone on magnesium, and I've been hearing about this brand a lot called Thorn, and her doctor recommended that one, and she's taking that magnesium, I think, or someone else is taking that I know. But yeah, this has magnesium. Oh, this is, I don't know what, it doesn't say it on it, but this is the calming one. Magnesium Replenish if you get it from Welina. But you can just do a quick Google and it'll tell you the 3 different kinds of magnesium and which one is like the energy one and which one's the calming one. It has helped me so much. Like after exercising, I would have a lot of soreness and muscle shit going on the next day because I think I'm like magnesium deficient. And this has helped so much. Like that does not happen to me in the intense way that it was happening for years.
Mm-hmm. I also stopped caffeine. Another big health thing that happened to me this year is I had extremely painful breasts, and I talked about it in Tea Time. I actually haven't talked about it like publicly yet, but right after I got back from New Zealand, I was having very, very odd symptoms, which like scared me. I thought I had I thought I had cancer. But turns out I have cystic breast tissue, and the thing that causes pain is too much caffeine. And I was told by 3 different doctors. I made sure I got an ultrasound and everything on my breasts, and everything was fine. But it's caffeine that causes my chest to ache. So I pretty much stopped all caffeine. I will have, Christine knows this, I will have like 1 coffee or a matcha every like maybe 2 weeks. Otherwise I'm just drinking decaf. But I know like if I get stressed and I am in like a flare up, then I can't have any caffeine or actually any chocolate either. So I stopped caffeine, and honestly, it's really helped me. Like I'm like not craving it. I don't really get tired in the middle of the day anymore. I don't have that crash anymore. I just now get to enjoy those drinks because I like them and not for the caffeine in it. Unless like I'm super tired, and then I have to decide if I want
the pro
pain.
And cons are,
yeah. If it's pain management or if it's going to be I'm going to be extremely exhausted. Yeah.
Quickly go through my last couple things here. I mentioned Vaseline. Vaseline is great. Okay. I switched when Natasha had that little rant about chapstick. I switched to fucking Vaseline on my lips. I was already using it every day, like a thin layer under my eyes and on top of my eyelid. And then I had started using it on my KP, like over my eyebrows. And now I also use it on my lips. And like it does really help because throughout the day, I maybe like reapply it once or twice at most. And then of course before bed. But like I was reapplying my chapstick like once an hour. And it's just a lot of chapstick. And I don't need it as much anymore. So
oh, look at that. I'm right.
I know. Well, it's a miracle substance.
Natalie tried to tell me the other day. She's like, no, chapstick does not like make your lips. I'm like, yes, it does.
Well, I feel like there are lots of different kinds of chapstick, and a lot of them do that. Maybe there's the occasional one though that actually moisturizes, but you have to like find it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other big thing that I have had, like, so because I have KP on my face, I think this is a big reason why it's really hard for me to get all my makeup off. Like it sticks specifically to those areas that have like the tiny bumps. And it's really hard to get it off. And forever I was like washing my face a million times. My cellar water doesn't get it off unless I'm like fucking going over it over and over and over and over it. So what really helps is like doing the 2 double cleanse where you use an oil, a face oil first, and like it breaks down all the makeup and you kind of like massage it into your face and then like rinse it off with water and then do your soap. And the Burt's Bees oil has been my favorite kind. And I use that. Too. Yeah.
And it's affordable compared to like other balms that people are selling.
Yeah, and it works really well. So yeah, I get so annoyed with taking off makeup when it like I've done all the things and I still have makeup here and I'm like, what the actual fuck? And it must be because of the KP because the texture is different and it's hard to get in all the little crevices.
I'm gonna say one more and then Christine, you can say your last one if you want. Okay. As a sewist, I got so this is for anyone who sews. I got a serger machine. This is the loud machine, Christine. I have 2 machines that I work with, which is my Singer Patchwork. I love that machine. It's like heavy duty. It goes through all my stuff. It hasn't broke on me. I've had it. It was my mom's. So it's like almost 10 years old. And then I got my serger machine. A serger machine is a thing that like finishes off the ends of fabric. So I got it because I needed to be efficient, and it's really helped me in my sewing journey just to make everything look nice and neat, and it makes doing hems a lot easier. Sometimes I don't even hem it because I just use the serger machine, which is not technically like the thing you should do, but I just do it because I'm like, I don't care enough on my own projects. So yeah, I got a serger machine and they're not very expensive. I think like $150, and the one I use is the Brother Lock 1034D. And I love it.
And the last thing on my list is something that's changed my life this year. It's having an indoor-outdoor bug zapper lantern on my kitchen counter. Like those, I don't know if you live in an area that like during, I think it's like the rainy time going into summer. So like right after it was like rainy and then it's summer, get all those fucking gnats in like outside. Yeah. And like they get in your house and they're so annoying and it's so hard to kill them because they're so little. And then there's the time of the year where like those flies are around because it's so fucking hot. This thing, I would run around chasing those bugs like a psychotic person for long periods of time. Now, all I gotta do is dim the lights. Sometimes I don't even have to dim the lights. If it's nighttime, it's already dark enough. But like that zapper will murder them. And I'll hear the little zzz. And I'll be like, gotcha. And it's great. And then, so I saw a mosquito in my house like 2 days ago and I was like, what the fuck is this? I haven't seen a mosquito in ages because my zapper's on top, and I looked and the light bulb had gone out in my lantern. So I just bought a new light and it just came, and I have to figure out how to open it up and put the new light bulb in it. But that light bulb lasts like is solidly on for like 6 months. So it's good. It's good.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Okay.
Yeah. And those are our life-changing little routine switches. In the last couple years. We're going to quickly do Mary Kiss Clip. So today we are doing Mary Kiss Cliff gum, Altoids, or Listerine strips.
Oh wow. Okay, back to dental health. My goodness. Okay.
Or just like mouth freshness.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna marry gum because that's my
Yeah.
favorite thing. I do love gum. Love gum. Now, are we talking like the cinnamon Altoids? Because those things fucking suck.
No, we're just talking about those chalky ass Altoids, and I fucking hate them. Maybe I should make Listerine strip Tic Tac so it's more.
No. Okay,
you want it to be Listerine?
Yeah. The thing about the Listerine strips is that those came out like 2007, I think.
Yeah,
those
it was
burn your mouth.
I know, but we were like all so excited about them. We're like, you want to do a Listerine strip?
I honestly, I think I want to cliff Listerine strips and kiss Altoids.
I'm cliffing Altoids and kissing Listerine strips. Listerine strips are so interesting. So if you've never used them, it's like this like sheet that you put on your tongue, and then they're
boring.
burns.
Yeah, they're boring and they burn. And
They're
then
not boring. They just burn.
Last, and they last for like a second. Like they make your.
I think they last pretty long. To my memory, I haven't used one in like 10 years, but I remember it being so fresh after. You have to close your mouth so it burns the whole mouth. You can't leave your tongue open like that. You have to be like, burn away everything. Katie said, do they even make them anymore? I don't know. I haven't seen them in a long time. Maybe they don't.
I know. I've had one recently. Someone had one, and I was like, I needed something, and then they gave it to me.
Oh my god, my go-to is gum. I love gum. All right, folks, that's our show. We're off to record Fangirl Tea Time. Thank you so much for listening. Our new episodes come out every Friday. Our podcast is edited by Alex Polis, Natasha Polis, Christine Riccio, and Ricky McBrayer. Our music is by Cole Jenkins with vocals by Heather Troskar. Our socials are done by Chloe Laverson. You can follow us on TikTok or Instagram at Those Forking Fangirls. My name's Christine.
And I'm Natasha.
And we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.